If you've been sitting on something you almost shared but didn't, this video is for you. Hi, I'm Dr. B, the Naked Creative. No makeup, no fancy tech, just practical wisdom to support your creativity. And today I'm talking about perfectionism. And I did this little drawing to support and demonstrate perfectionism. Sometimes we can't quite get out of our own ways. For me, it's recording and publishing these videos. I had this idea to start this YouTube channel about a year and a half ago now. It was in the fall of 2024. I had been meeting with a mentor, EG Orren. She's fabulous. I told her about my idea. She was all in. Then I hesitated. I started watching more and more YouTubes. A lot of YouTubes on how to do YouTube. I know what I want to talk about, but I wonder, am I really doing it right? Am I really giving you, the creative, what you need? I know from my own experience that creativity can feel very fragile. We have ideas in our mind. Maybe it's a painting that you want to do. Maybe it's a piece of needlework, a recipe you want to try out. Maybe you want to open and start a food truck or a little cafe. Maybe you want to test a new recipe for your family or for yourself. Some things are easy to share, and some things feel impossible. Well, I'm here to give you some tips and strategies that might help you to open the door to your own creativity. I'm looking at some notes that I made, so if I happen to look down from the camera, that's what I'm doing. Perfectionism doesn't mean you care more. It often means that you're afraid to be seen. Why would we be afraid to be seen? It's because we fear criticism. And criticism can be one of those things that can get in your way. Maybe you think back to grade school, a teacher, a parent, someone well-meaning who said something that pulled the rug out from under you. What do you do with that? You hide. You pull things closer so that you're not exposed. That feeling can carry over into other areas of your life. Creativity should be one of those things that supports you, that gives you freedom, that helps you elevate your emotions. And it will, and it does, if you give yourself the permission not to be perfect. Another thing that perfectionism can be hiding is a fear of rejection. I was working on my MFA. I was chatting with one of the instructors, professors. I was talking about my novel, and she said, "Is it as good as it can be?" And I thought to myself, no, I guess not. And then she said, well, it's not ready to be shared until it is. Why? The fear of rejection from an agent or a publisher. That holds you back. But most of the world isn't looking to reject you. Most of the world wants to support you. Easy said, not easy to do. Another thing about perfectionism is we might fear being misinterpreted. A short story, a poem, a song that you have written that might reflect an emotion, anger, hatred, jealousy. And you fear that people who hear it and read what you have written are going to misinterpret it. They're going to think, oh my gosh, Billy over there wants to harm someone, or I am not sure that they're in a really good space. And we fear we're being misinterpreted. Well, one thing that comes to mind for this would be Stephen King. He writes amazing thrillers. Is that his life? Is that his reality in the real world where we all exist? I don't think so. That doesn't mean that we don't love those stories. Why do we read? Why do we go to movies? It's because we want to test ourselves in a situation that hopefully we're not going to face. An apocalypse. People love that kind of story. I have a friend who has an entire podcast on that genre. It's a way to test our fears, but also to test our strengths. Are you the hero of your own story? Are you the one, the protagonist that is going to lead the charge? Think about Frodo, an unlikely hero, but he is the one that saves the day. Or maybe it was Samwise. At any rate, perfectionism is protection. How do you learn to take that step forward? I think you have to have courage. And that is not simple. Perfect is a moving target. Once you think that you have gained a skill and fixed something, maybe it's in your writing, maybe it's in your art making, maybe it's in your clothes, what you stitch together, maybe it's in the pottery that you make, or the gardening that you do, or a woodworking project. I like to make my videos appeal to all creatives in all genre. And I'll be doing another video on what I see as the 7 forms, art forms of creativity. But once you think that you have fixed the one thing, another one pops up. Writers often get bogged down in plotting. So they work really hard. They read all the books about how to plot. They master that skill, and then they realize, oh, the setting is lacking. And then they go in that direction. And once they have fixed those things, then they move on to character development. And before you know it, 25 years have passed. That novel is still unfinished because they have spent so much time perfecting a skill in order to move forward. And saying this out loud here on this video, I realize, yeah, I'm still trying to perfect my YouTube presence. I'm trying to master all the different aspects. Ideation, outlining, planning, preparing my visuals, which, as I'm recording this, I realize I don't think I'm going to be able to incorporate them live like I thought, but I can put them as an add-on image later. Perfect is a moving target. Perfect says, you're never done. But that's okay. If this video isn't perfect, I'm okay with that. I remember when I was learning about quilting and sewing many, many years ago. And one of my friends told me that the Amish often will include a mistake on purpose because nobody is ever perfect. Own it. I think they call it the humble square. Now, whether or not that is actually true, that has been something that has sustained me in many things that I actually do in life. She also told me another little credo. You're not going to notice it on a galloping horse. I know there's more to that quote, but if you think about how quickly things come in and out of our range of vision, it's okay. And probably the third thing to think about is nobody's perfect. Nobody should even try to be perfect. We can be as good as we can be with the skill set that we currently have. So, how are you going to move forward in your creativity? If you've been sitting on something, how can I help you to take one more step forward? Think about what it is that is holding you back. Journal about it. And if you don't like journaling, I understand that. Maybe open up the voice memo app on your phone. Go outside, go for a walk. Just talk it through. Think about the shoulder critic and the shoulder cheerleader. They always are going to have their opinions of what you're doing. They both are valid, but in the end, what really matters is that you're doing something that makes you feel happy. Sewing makes me feel happy. Sometimes I mess up. Sometimes I mess up big. Writing makes me happy. Doing art makes me happy. What makes you happy? Join the conversation. Drop a comment below. Let me know what you're working on. I know these videos aren't perfect, but here is my challenge to you. Today, release something that's 85% of the way there. Not 100%, not even 99%. 85%. That gives you permission to know I'm not finished. I have a ways to go. I see where I'm going. I know what I want to work on. It's incremental. You've got 15% left. Sharing what you're doing at 85% is a huge milestone. It's going to knock down some of those blocks that have been getting in your way. The world needs your art. You need to do your art. It will elevate your mood and it will brighten our world. So don't let the world refine you. Take charge. Take a step. Today, release something at 85%. Publish a short. Show somebody a piece of art that you're working on. Send somebody a poem. Share a wood product that's not quite there. It doesn't matter. What does matter is that you are doing just a little bit more. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be in motion. Motion. One step. 85%. Promise me that. Leave a comment. I have some resources available. doyourart.org. Join my mailing list. Let's support each other. A biento. And now the bloopers. Blah, 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 blah. Yanto is watching birds and squirrels out the window. He's having fun. Am I having fun? Yeah. I was watching the Olympics, and Alyssa Yu, she said when she came back to figure skating, it was to have fun. And that really inspired me, got me thinking. So, I'm having fun. Are you?